And let's go through downloading Zoom. So I'm going to open up my Google browser here. And in the search bar, I am going to put in Zoom and download. I want to go right to the download. And here it is. Now the official Zoom site to make sure that you are on the right site is zoom.us. And there it is right there. So we are just going to hit the download button. And what we want is the Zoom client for meetings. There are other options here, but we just want the plain Zoom client for meetings right here. And I'm just going to hit the download button. And it has started downloading. It doesn't take very long. It's right here. So I'm going to click on it. And it has started installing it. It's fairly fast. I'm on a fast connection here, but it still installs it quickly. Okay. So I'm going to close out of that. And here it is. Zoom is right there. You can join a meeting. Let's say you have gotten an invitation to join a meeting and so on. You can do that right there. But this is the first time we're using it, so I'm gonna hit the sign in and see what happens. And under this user, I really don't have an account yet, so I am going to do the sign up for free right here. And it asks you for your date of birth for verification. So I'm going to put a fictitious one here. Hit continue. It asks you for an email address. And that's going to be your username, basically, to sign into Zoom. So I'm going to do the 2btech@hotmail. And click the sign up. So it's telling me here that they have sent an activation email to my account. So I'm just gonna open up Outlook here. So at this point I'm going to check my email and see if I have one there. I do. So I'm going to click on the Zoom email, and here you see the email here, and all you have to do is hit the activate account. What they're doing is they're confirming that it's an actual email. Now they are asking you to put in a name and so on. So I'm going to do Charlie Brown, and I'm going to create a password. You have to have at least 8 characters and a number. And upper and lowercase letters, which I didn't do. That's why it's coming up in red. So I am going to make the first letter a capital. It asks you to confirm your password, so you type it again. Then you have to click here that you're not a robot. Now here it's asking you if you're signing up for a school or so on. It's no. Just hit the continue button. And it's asking me to save it. I'm going to save it. Here it's a page about inviting colleagues and so on. You can skip this step. And here there's options to start a meeting now and so on. I'm going to close out of this. Close the browser altogether. And now I'm going to try signing in with my new account with the email and the password that I created. Okay, once you put in your email and your password that you just created, you hit the sign in button. And here we are, we're inside of Zoom. Now this can be a little confusing here. How I like to work in this, if I'm going to a meeting, I'm just going to click usually on the link that people send me. But if you want to create a meeting or have a lot of other options that are here, you go to this tab up here that says meeting. And here you have options. There's no meeting scheduled here. So I'm going to show you how to create a meeting on this screen. If you go here, you see the little plus sign. I click on that to schedule a meeting. Click on that. I'm going to leave it just Charlie Brown Zoom meeting. Here you can pick the date that you want to start the meeting. I'm going to leave it as today. And here you pick the time that you want to schedule the meeting and the duration of the meeting. Now, one thing on the free version, the maximum length of a meeting on the free version is 45 minutes. If you get a paid version, you can hold a much longer meeting if you like. The next thing that you see here is it going to be a recurring meeting? In other words, is it going to be a meeting that you're going to have over and over again? Let's say that every Friday you have a meeting with a couple of family members or your grandkids or something like that. You can click this box off here to make it a recurring meeting. And that would give you that option. So you can always use the same, link for that meeting and just give it to the people that you have the meeting with and so on. Security, meeting ID, I leave it here and generate automatically. Now security, this is an important one. You can leave it on a passcode, which can get a little confusing. I like to use the waiting room. I just click on that one. And what that does is when I start the meeting, if I'm the host, I will see people trying to get into the meeting. All I have to do is click the admit button and let them in. The next thing you see here is video. I want the video on for the host, and I want the video on for the participants. And the reason for that is you want to see each other. So it's kind of simple. Here it asks you for calendars and so on. I just leave it as blank. There's advanced options here, but we're covering the basics today, so we're going to leave that alone. And I'm going to hit save. So it is, what it's doing at this point is creating that meeting. Now I had left it on the Outlook thing, and it was trying to connect to the Outlook and so on. I just cancel out of that. And there's our meeting. Okay, the next thing to do is how do you let people know how to connect to that meeting? You go here, copy invitation. You can also go back and edit your meeting, change something about it. But let's look at the show meeting invitation. Let me show you what it looks like. So here it says Charlie Brown is inviting you to a scheduled meeting, blah, blah, blah. And here you have, this is the key one. This right here is the link to that meeting. So if you send that link to somebody, they're going to be able to click on that and ask to join that meeting. What I tend to do here is I just copy the invitation. So now it's copied, and what I do is I open up my email that I'm going to use for the meeting, or my personal email if it's a personal meeting, and just paste that invitation in there, put in the recipients who I want to send it to, and hit send, and that meeting is scheduled and on. As you can see here, it tells you when the meeting is and so on. So that's all set. So that part is fairly simple. When it's time for the meeting, you just click on the meeting here. If you have several, let's say you click on the one that you want to open, and you hit the start button, and your meeting is going to start. And I'll show you that here in a minute. But what I wanted to show you is this right up here. That is your user. So if you click on that and you go to settings right here, you click on that once, and here is where you have a lot of options and things that you can actually test before your meeting starts and so on. If I click on video right here, it is going to show me what the meeting is going to look, what I look like on the meeting. Here you choose the camera. Right now I am using my main camera for recording, so let me try another one. Let me try the camera that's on my PC right here. See if it'll show that. Okay, it is showing the camera here. So there is the camera that is on my laptop. Laptop cameras tend not to be the best quality, so we're going to cover adding an external camera, which you can buy fairly inexpensively and get a lot better quality. The next thing you're going to see here is a list of choices. I usually leave everything here alone at the default. You can do this touch-up appearance by making it more or less. And what that does, as you can see a little bit on that video, it makes how you look a little bit smoother. So that's something you might want to play with. So I leave everything else there alone. So I see that it's working. I can see how I'm looking. As you can see here, just my eyes are showing, and that's a common mistake on Zoom. You can pull it down a little bit. I'm pulling my screen down so people can actually see me. What you see behind me is a green screen, which is what I use. You probably wonder how can I float inside the picture and so on. I use green screens. That's what you see back here. Okay. Next thing you want to test is your audio. So if I click on this, you can actually test your microphone. You don't even have to click on it. As you see, as I'm speaking, you can see this is moving. If I get closer to the microphone, it gets stronger. So I know that my mic is working. People are going to be able to hear me. It's smart to go through these tests before you have a meeting, because that way you know everything's working. So I leave it alone here. You can actually choose microphones here. And You can actually test your speakers here also if you wanted to. So you can do a lot of testing here and just make sure everything's working right. The other part I wanted to show you here was background and filters right there. Okay, so if I click on that, again, it shows me what I look like in the picture, and you're going to see choices down here. If you're using a green screen in back, you can click on that right here. I have a green screen. And then you can put backgrounds in back of you right here. You can even add backgrounds that you might have photos and so on in your computer that you like. If I demonstrate it here, it's not going to demonstrate right. It's going to only demonstrate half because the green screen is just showing half here. But let's do that. Let's click on I have a green screen. And let's click on this one. And you can see how that picture appears there. You see this right here? If I click on that and click on a spot on my screen here, usually right by me, it gives a little bit of a more accurate picture. Right now you're getting this right here, and that's because the lighting is set up differently because I'm using another camera and not this camera for my broadcast. One of the most useful ones, you could do none here, so you have basically nothing in the background. But the other thing you can use is this blur feature right here. And that just blurs the background. And it asks you if you want to download the virtual background package. And you can do that, just download it. And what it does is gives you more options as like the blur feature. And you can see it has blurred the background. So you can use that if you don't want people to see what's in the background and you don't have a green screen to put one of these features here up. Okay. So that's a little demonstration on that. Let me close this out. So those are the basics of some of the setups that you can do and things that you can check. I recommend strongly that before you start your meetings, check your video, check your audio, make sure everything's working right for you before you actually start the meeting. Let's start the meeting right here. So as you can see, and I'm going to make it big here, it's using that camera, which is not a very good camera there, but it's using that camera. It's got that background that I put in and so on. One word about Zoom meetings. Yes, you can do a Zoom meeting on your phone, on a tablet, and so on. Especially during the pandemic, I did a lot of Zoom meetings with clients and things like that. I found that working on an actual laptop is a lot better than trying to do it on a phone and so on, because you get a lot more options. If I move my mouse here, you see all the things that are here. Okay, I can hit this record button. What that's going to do, it's going to record the meeting. Okay, so if you wanted to have a recording of what the meeting was, you can use this chat feature here, which is basically text messaging back and forth with people. If I had other people that had been invited to this meeting, as they try to join the meeting, I would get along the top here a little red button that says who's trying to come in and a red button that says admit. If I click the admit button, they can join the meeting. You can see the number of participants right here, just myself. You can see your video, you can stop your video, you can mute your sound. You can share your screen. If you want to show somebody what you're doing and so on, you can share your screen. You can put reactions. Things like this. See how it popped up? Okay, so if I click there, it shows you there's a reaction up there. If I click again, it goes away. Here, view, I like to use the gallery view, and you can choose the speaker view, which you only see the person that's speaking at the time. But the gallery view will put little boxes up. It looks like the old Hollywood Square show. It'll put little boxes up of everybody that's in the meeting. So you can actually see everybody, and you can see yourself as one of those boxes. The more people that join, the more little boxes that come up. The maximum number of boxes, I believe, is 24. But gallery view is probably the most practical one. Tends to be the default. Once your meeting is over, very simple, you just click on the end here, and you end the meeting. So let's do that. Let's end the meeting. It gives you a confirmation to make sure that you do want to end the meeting. End it for all, or just you leave the meeting. Being that I'm the host, it's giving me the option to end all. So I click on that, and the meeting is closed. So it's kind of simple. Best thing to do with Zoom is practice. Have a Zoom meeting with a family member or something and give it a try and see how it's working out. But Zoom, like I said, it has become really popular, and because of the ease of use, basically. So Skype used to be a big thing, but that kind of Zoom kind of took over. And the fact that you can have a 45-minute meeting with all these options of sharing your screen and so on, all for free, it makes it rather attractive. Once you're done with Zoom, you really don't have to sign out. All you have to do is click out of the box, and it goes away. Thank you for watching our video. If you enjoy our video, please like our video below, and please subscribe to our channel. That way you can get regular notifications of when we post new videos and so on. Like always, right in the description section, you will have links to any products, any software, any websites that we mention in that particular video. You will also have a link there to our membership area. We have a membership course that we make available, and please click on the link, take a look. It has an explanation of what the course is about. And again, don't forget to like our video, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. First thing we're going to do is we are going to open up our Chrome browser. Okay, so there is my Chrome browser. So what I'm going to do is I am signed in. If you don't have a Google account, we've mentioned that before, it's very simple. When you open up your Chrome browser, if you're not signed in as a user already, it's going to prompt you to create an account. All you need to do is put in an email address and create a password. It doesn't have to be a Gmail account or anything like that. You can use whichever email address you're using. So that's an easy way. The important thing about that is once you create that Google account, automatically every time you open Chrome, it'll open in your Google account. It'll remember things like what you like to look at in YouTube and give you automatic suggestions of what's up there. It's going to automatically, in things like your Google Docs, go to your work, the things that you have available there. But let's go here to the 9 little dots. We've demonstrated that before. Whoops, clicking on the wrong thing here. These 9 dots right here. And I am going to scroll down until I see Docs right there. So I click once on it. And here it opens Google Docs. First thing I wanted to point out to you are the templates right here. There's a lot of great templates already made for you. Let me get myself out of the way here. And if you hit this little arrows right here, and this is the template gallery. So if you hit the little arrows right there, it's going to open up a whole selection of available templates. I mean, just about everything you can think of is here. If something here suits your needs, by all means try it and edit that template. Take a look through here, play with it. There's a lot of great templates here for you. Okay, so let's just go back. And I am going to do, instead of a template, I'm just going to choose a blank document. It's easier for us to do it that way for demonstration purposes. So I'm just going to click on that. And here we go. It looks very similar to a lot of word processors you've seen before. The usual things here like undo the last thing you did, redo something that you undid. There's a direct print link here. How you wish to view the document, 100%. Or you can make it fit to the window. You can view it bigger or smaller. Now, Google Docs, it's almost a hybrid. It has some HTML in it. What is HTML? It's the language that you create websites with, but some of the features are handy. For example, if you're going to put something in and you want it as a title or as a different size heading, so you could use that right there if you wanted to. Or like any other word processor, here you can choose your font. And there are a lot of fonts here. If you go to more fonts, this one right here, if you don't see something here, and you have some very good choices here, but if you don't see here something that you like, you can go to more fonts and you will have an infinite selection of fonts because you're online. This can tie directly into Google Fonts online. Okay, here you choose the font size. The usual ones like bold, italic, underline, the color of your text. You can highlight your text. You can insert a hyperlink here, which I've demonstrated before. Hyperlinks are direct links to, for example, a website that you want to put in your document so people can click on it and go right to that particular thing. A quick link here to insert an image. And this is where it can get a little interesting in Google Docs because you can upload an image from your computer, the first choice. You can search the web for an image you might want to use. You can go to Google Drive if you have some things there. You can go to Google Photos if you use Google Photos and upload a photo directly from your Google Photos. You can put a specific URL, which is a web address if you have that. Or you can insert something from your webcam on your computer. So if, for example, if I put camera here, it shows that. And it's asking me for permission to allow to access my camera. I have no camera selected. The problem here that I can't use it, it's because I'm using my video and my cameras for recording of this broadcast. But if I wasn't, I can insert something, a picture right from my webcam. The rest of these I've shown before. They're the usual, how you want to align your text. You can do bulleted list, numbered list right here. Very normal functions that you see on word processors. Now, where it gets interesting are some of the things that are available here at the top. And let me go through some of the things here. Like if you go to File, let's say you've created a document. At this point, it'll get saved to your Google Drive, so it'll be there when you go online again. But you can download the document that you created right onto your computer. And here you have some great choices. You can download as a Microsoft Word document. You can do it right as a PDF, a plain text document. The three most practical ones are plain text, PDF document, or a Microsoft Word document. So they're all great choices right there. You can convert the entire document into a different language. And there is an amazing amount of choices here, but I'll show you another way of doing it here as we move along. In Edit, you can do, redo, you can paste things, usual things that you would find on an Edit menu. In the View menu, I usually tend to leave that alone. It's set up to be simple and comprehensive the way it's set up without being too crowded. Here in the Insert, again, great number of choices. The images, I showed you all the different ways you can insert it from there. You can put a table that you can enter words or documents or pictures or anything into. And when you see this here, you can pick the numbers of columns across and the number of rows down that you want. It keeps on expanding as you move the mouse down. So that's a great option there. Easy way to insert a table. You can insert a drawing. You can do a new drawing, and you're actually given at that point basic drawing tools where you can do little sketches and so on. You can insert a chart. And where it's really practical here to insert a chart is from your Sheets. And we're going to demonstrate Google Sheets, which is the equivalent of Microsoft Excel. It's a spreadsheet program. You can create a very nice chart from Google Sheets and then just insert it into a Word document. So that's a practical one. Here you have special characters, and what those are characters that are not available normally on your keyboard. So there's quite a few here. All you have to do, pick the one you want, and you drag it. You just click it, or you can actually draw a symbol right here. But these are symbols. You can go to arrows. So there's a lot of things here that you can do. In symbols, you can pick right here all the different ones that are there. What I recommend with items like this is just to play with it. I'm going to close this out. All these items, like I always tell you, the best way to learn it is play with it, get creative, do things. You can't hurt anything. If you don't like it, just delete it. Here we go. You can insert equations. I'm not going to get into that. That can be useful especially for educators, but I'm not going to get into equations in the Word document right here. These are headers and footers. You can insert a header into your document or a footer. Let's say you want to create stationary type document where you have your header and your footer there. You can do it right here. Very simple. You can insert page numbers and choose where you want the page numbers to be. You can insert a page break. a section break. Again, you can insert a hyperlink. And we've shown you before how that works. Hyperlinks are direct links to items, usually on the web, that somebody that's looking at your document can actually click on and get to that. The next one I'm going to mention is table of contents. You can actually create a table of contents for the document. Let's say you have a long document right here. I'm not going to get into that. I don't have a long document that I'm demoing right now, but that's very easy to use. Again, play with it, learn it. Google Docs a lot of people are getting into it. A lot of people that for years used things such as Microsoft Word or some of the other programs have gotten into this because of some of the tools that I'm showing you right now, and can be quite flexible, and it also saves your items online automatically. So it's kind of an automatic way of backing up things. So that's something you might want to consider getting familiar with it, maybe using it more. Here, formatting is a lot of what you have already here on the ribbon. So this is another way to get to some of those things that you might be looking to use. The next one is the item tools. And this is where we start getting into some really unique things. It has the usual spelling and grammar and dictionary and so on that you see in most of the other programs. You can actually do a word count. This is useful for students, for example, that have to create a document with X number of words in it and so on. That can do a word count for you right there. But the next one I want to demonstrate is voice typing. I'm just going to click on that and start talking, and you can see what happens. Okay, this appears here. So you have to click on that to start speaking. So I'm going to do that. It asks for permission. I'm going to click on allow. And now anything that I say is going to start recording. Okay. Let's see if this types correctly. Period. You can also, when you're here, you can also still use your keyboard. I'm going to use the backspace here. So you can see, you can use a combination of your keyboard and dictating to a document. When you are done recording, or you want to stop the recording, just click on this big red symbol right here, and it has stopped recording. You can close it out by hitting the little X right here. And now I'm going to demonstrate another one of the add-ons. That's a tool. This dictation tool is something that you can just get familiar with by using it. I've seen people that are very good at it. I've seen them demonstrate it online, and it can be quite amazing how well you can type with this and dictate with it. And I like the fact that you can use the combination of the dictation and your keyboard at the same time. Okay, so let's go back to tools. And this is the next one right above it that I wanted to demonstrate. Translate the document. I'm going to click on that. Okay, so it's saying translate a copy of the untitled document. I am going to select the language here. And as you can see, there are an infinite number of choices here. I'm going to do a fairly common one. Let's do Spanish. If I hit the translate button right here, it has translated this document into Spanish. So if you need to communicate with somebody in a foreign language, this can be of great value to you. So that's an amazing feature that's right there for you. So what it created, as you can see here, it created a copy. That's why I have a new tab up here. So I'm going to close out of that, and I'm back on my English one here. So when you use that translate feature, it does not eliminate the one that you were just working on. It just creates a copy of it in a different language. So that can be quite useful. I love that feature. I think it's great. You have accessibility settings right here for those of you that might need a little bit of help as far as seeing things more clearly and so on. Let's go to the next one, add-ons right here. And this is another section that's worth showing. Do more with Google Docs. If you go here to get add-ons, now these are a number of add-ons that are available, and there's quite a few of them for Google Docs. Now, you can check these out. There's, like I said, many of these. If you just scroll your way down, many of them are free. Some there's a small fee to pay to use, but it's worth looking through here, clicking on them, seeing what they're offering. You can see the ratings by the number of stars here that people give it. Here's one, Avery Labels, to create labels. There's another one here. There are many add-ons here where here you might find some things that you might think are particularly useful to you. So there is probably something for everyone here in this area. So take a look, see what's there for you. If I close out of this document at this point, I don't have it on my computer. So I wanted to remind you, you can go to your file section here. And I always like to download things. I like to have them on my computer. Just go to the file section and go to the downloads right here. Pick the format that you want. I use Microsoft Word a lot. So I tend to save it as Microsoft Word. If I'm putting something on the web, I tend to do a PDF right here. Like I've mentioned before, the reason to save something as a PDF is everybody can open it. Whether you're on a Mac, a PC, you can be on Ubuntu, you can be on anything, a Linux program, and you can open a PDF. That's why PDFs are used so much, especially for things that are going to be online. So you can download it, or you can actually share it here also with somebody else. You can email it right here to somebody if you wanted to email the file to somebody. You can move it to the trash if you don't want to save it, which is what I'm going to do right here. It prompts you to make sure that you want to put it in the trash. You can take out your trash right here too. Take it out of the trash. So I am just going to move it to the trash and go back to my home screen. So as you can see here, there's one recent document. What is that? Well, that was the Spanish document I created before. I did that just to point out to you that unless you take it out to the trash, Google Docs will automatically save your document on the cloud. So there it is. I'm going to take it out to the trash because I don't want to keep it. But you have a lot of options here how to deal with it. Thank you for watching our video. If you enjoy our video, please like our video below. And please subscribe to our channel. That way you can get regular notifications of when we post new videos and so on. Like always, right in the description section, you will have links to any products, any software, any websites that we mention in that particular video. You will also have a link there to our membership area. We have a membership course that we make available, and please click on the link, take a look. It has an explanation of what the course is about. And again, don't forget to like our video, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.